Wait, hold on.
Oh, wait, did you say you're live?
Oh, who's Jamal?
Jamal. My boy Jamal.
Guatemalan Naruto is what it is. Hello?
Wow, the rarest trophy in all of Overwatch is Baptiste, like, get 12k damage, or 1200 damage in one YouTube window.
Hello?
Wait, what happened?
Hello? Is that Farside? Oh my god, that's Farside.
What?
Why is your second account called
Your name's Naruto? And you make fun of me being a weeb?
Wait, did you change your name?
Oh man.
It's not even a different account. You just changed your name, huh?
Yeah, why would I do a different account?
Well, it's good, Guatemala Naruto.
You know what, Farside?
About me gaming enthusiast.
I like that. I like it.
Bro, there's like 50 people talking at once. Like,
Your mom.
What?
Come on, Otto, answer your phone.
So are all the coaches coming tonight then?
This is the first.
Yeah, we don't even actually do a scrim tonight and all the coaches.
Well, I've asked for Nova, so. Or a coach, that's cool. And Nova showed up. And we got Farside.
Yeah, Jewel sent me over.
Nice. Yeah, I figured that.
Yeah, it's real early in the day. She's like, hey, are you free for Tyrants? I'm like, yeah, I got... I was just waiting for her to tell me where to go.
Nice.
Oh my god, Otto, I'm gonna keep spamming your phone to answer.
We can start. We have a video, so it's not a big deal.
Benching Otto. Jules, this is the disclaimer. We're benching Otto.
Oh, mega lol.
Because he didn't show up.
Alright, so real quick, big thing that we need to understand as a team is proper rotations. So, whenever we do rush, and ruins is the perfect start, when we do rush here, you guys need to think of like your Reinhardt as the center of your horseshoe, and you as a DPS are the right and left. So you guys are taking like those angles, and we are coordinating together when we are established to go in together. When one of the side of the horseshoe doesn't go in or goes in too early, the comp falls apart. So that is why my main callouts are where I'm positioning and where we're rotating. So as DPS, you guys call out low targets. They're mispositioning, like small things like someone's low or someone's over here, or just if you see someone, that's basically it. Like, or if someone is engaging you, if someone, that's basically under the category of mispositioning.
Okay. So
and then as Ryan, like I'm calling out where I'm going. So like, think about with the horseshoe. If I'm rotating here, they're set up far left. The main thing with here on ruins, as Ryan, we rush to statue. This is our main spot. And then the whole goal is here is to kind of turn it sideways. So if I'm looking right or looking at point, where do you guys think my DPS should be?
I would say
we have the horseshoe set up.
I mean, I would say on this bridge, and on this here.
Far bridge, right there. That's basically my left. Someone over on my right. And then we just spam, or I go in. And then as that, once I know that you guys are ready, that's when I'm going in. Anybody have any questions so far?
Hey, you can actually spawn me in as a enemy team. I thought there was a scrim today. I didn't
where
realize.
the support's gonna be
That was
supports are basically
in
rush are on me. In the center, like the supports are basically like in the center of your comp.
So the big thing is someone like, so say I'm the DPS and I'm Torbjorn, so I'm gonna be like over here on the bridge, and I'm gonna set up my turret on bridge, and it's gonna pincer the enemy, okay? All right.
Bam.
So I'm over here on bridge, and Snow or whoever's on bat can just give me healing on this offside here. Because they've got long range, and then and then he could be like, "Hey, I'm gonna heal the Hanzo." Like, so Faded knows not to hard engage.
You know, like those callouts are really important for your tank. That's like setting the tempo for me. You know, like if I know that we're not ready, my tempo is already gonna be where it's been. soon as that, like, hey, like, I have no one over here, oh, I got someone down, that's when we go in. You know, that's when I get aggro and we start rolling team. Like, that's when the comp basically turns into who's Reinhardt's up. Especially on rush on rush. And at that point, when we hard engage, we just constantly focus who the shot call is. If I'm on the Rein, we're breaking his shield. I'm swinging on him. We're gonna focus him down. Like, if he's getting hard pocketed, and he's still living through that, at that point, we're probably gonna either still spam him down because there's literally no healer in this game that can outlive that besides Immortality Field. If all 6 people are shooting at the Rein together, if he's in a position where he can't take cover, like right here, he just dies. If all 6 of us are in our position ready to go. You know what I mean? Just a game win. Like, that's our win condition. Is being set up for rush. And the whole idea of that is to just enable the center part of your horseshoe. So we're just gonna name that, like, that's our horseshoe comp. The whole idea is we are just taking the angles and we're pushing together. We're setting up for that. Setting up for success.
One of the things I would really watch out for is setting up on the right side too far here, where it's Fire Strike. Especially if the Reinhardt is playing Ryan at the start of the fight. Let's say Tord is right there in this example, and you hop on point. It is a really big window for this comp to use amp speed and just go this way now.
Yeah, that was what we were talking with, or me and Mystic were talking about, was to just hold statue as this rush comp. Like, our center of the horseshoe always is going to get to the statue and try to rotate it, our horseshoe. Like, that way we either put a lot of pressure on our right side, or our left side is able to get a pick from the flank.
Yeah, I think in most rush comps, you're probably not going to be able to pull a pick out of this angle. You're going to find a good spot from the stairway here, I think. Having a DPS be where Sigma is. This spot, and then behind the Ryan here, or farther. Whatever is open. But I would really watch out for that angle if teams, I don't know how often people are playing Hog against you guys, but the chance of if Ryan gets called as a target, anybody on that right bridge is going to get either zoned by a D.Va, or, like, it's just not a big fighting position.
A lot of most teams on our level play, like, Ryan Zarya, Ryan D.Va, normally.
Okay, yeah, if it's Ryan Zarya, and then the Zarya isn't starting there, then yeah, it's pretty uncontested. But if they don't play a D.Va, they're, yeah, I mean, honestly, if they open with Zarya, you can just have that angle. Like, there's nothing that can take it away.
What team comps would you guys prefer for, like, horseshoe on this map? Like,
standard rush. Our standard rush could be May McCree with a Lucio Bap, Ryan Zarya. Ryan D.Va is interchangeable. D.Va Zarya, I mean, is interchangeable.
What are our backup characters?
Depending on map. So if that's not working, and say if we need more damage, we can go spam with the McCree.
So like a Hanzo or a Junk.
Yep. If that, well, basically, if that's still not working, we win around ults. And that's gonna be almost the entirety of any control map. You know, if we lose that, at that point, we're just getting outplayed, you know? Like, switching the comp and control points, unless it's, like, complete... It's only really good when you're getting directly countered. Like, when you know immediately, like, this comp's never gonna work against what they're running. You don't even go for the ult advantage. You know what I mean? So, like, say you go rush, and they have a really good... Like, Sombra shows her presence immediately. Like, she gets a hack, gets a kill... Or they get a good wall off of May. Like, I mean, against another rush, it's a little different because it's just play by play almost, especially in our tier. But the big counters to like rush would be like double flyer. If they're like really strong hit scans, or just like destroying us on rotations. Like really early, then at that point we could kind of either against double flyer. I can kind of like ask you guys. I feel like double bubble is really good against it, because like with the quick like you almost like you set up really like, especially on control maps, you set up fast, but you dominate who's still on the ground.
Fire at will.
Because like with Monkey and Zarya, I feel like is less of a target than like Ryan Zarya, like a rush. And you're grouped, you're you're kind of together. You're somewhat slow. Double flyer or double bubble, double flyer against like another really strong double flyer, or not necessarily double flyer, but like maybe even like one good hit scan, a pocketed hit scan, like a soldier or a McCree, with a flyer like an Echo, because Echo is honestly a good counter against Pharahs. You just hit your cooldowns, and even against another Echo. That's why I think like the double flyer.
If you guys,
and Ball Diva.
Double bubble.
Things that like if we run into something that counters rush, which is mainly like double fire, I think like going dive into it early is the idea if we do have to switch.
Yeah. Yeah, part of the reason I think Ball Diva is better is that it doesn't demand the Ana the same way that the
that's
double
true.
bubble normally does. And it even allows for a possible like Mercy Zen to have double pocketed damage boost against double flyers. If you're forced
focus
to
them
take
down.
The fight against them. So you can go towards the Kree Echo, you can go towards Ash something.
Got you. Okay.
You can do the soldier, whatever. You have so many options with that. It leaves you so open because like the only thing that needs a lot of healing is Diva, and Diva shouldn't need that many resources early in the fight because if you think if we're trying to counter double flyers, what can Diva fight? Not much at long range. So if we're waiting for the flyers to die, Diva doesn't have anything to fight anyway and shouldn't need that much healing.
She could play off the med pack here too.
Play a lot of cover too. Just like eat some DMs for her hit scan. Play cover.
And for Ball Diva, like Sombra Echo, very good. Very, very good.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. That's fine. You gotta go. No worries, bud. Oh, you're good, bro. No worries, man.
Stay blessed, stress less.
It's gonna be on my YouTube. I'll send a link when we're done. Yeah.
Created to be famous.
Yeah, you have to subscribe. It's the only way to look at it.
We could do a mock example of a rotation if you want. If you want to have everybody back up to like behind this big rectangle brick thing, as if you see the Reinhardt positioning to a certain side of the map, what you'd want to do in that rotation. If you assume the rest of the characters are behind the Reinhardt or something.
Coming
So
back
let's
right
So everyone come over here. That would include you, Chocolate. I don't know if you're over here because you're Sombra, but.
Could probably switch Shock to our team.
Alright.
I'll just reset them. Ready, whatever.
Alrighty, yeah, we can go ahead and peek now.
Yeah, if
Okay,
they're
we'll go this way.
wait around
And then
hits.
obviously-
Like I'm shielding anybody to go right. That way we wait for them. Like you're on the bridge, we can easily spam these guys.
I'm like, wait, are we actually shooting?
So at this point, since they're hard rotating, we push the center to them. At this point, our left, whoever's on my left this whole time, this is when you start taking back our spawn and getting this off angle on them. Like right on their right where our mega is, great off angle here. As soon as you're ready, we go in on them. And we take the fight to them. That's when we hard engage. As soon as they are overextended, we make them regret it. That's when we set up,
okay, so like
and we just pounce on them.
So like okay, so as Lucio, you know, you already know like you should be staying right, but as BAP, what angle do you want me, like what side do you want me to stay on? You want me to stay on your right side? Or do you want me to stay on your left?
As a BAP, you're kind of just like you're looking for the most direct line of sight to your main tank. It's like you want to basically be pocketing Ryan. Like you're gonna
you don't commit to a spot for a while. In this comp.
Yeah, because as you're rotating,
you're with me.
Not all the time, so I'm kind of rotating.
So honestly, so what you can do, Royal, is you can take this this block right here with your jump, with your boosters, and have high ground. Well, that's if they don't have a widow, so be wary of the widow.
Yeah, here just be generally careful of high ground,
and then you'll have sight line. So if you go up on there, go to statue faded, Royal, go to that stub, real quick.
Yeah, if you're like here, like you should be able to tell me like go farther right, go farther left, go farther right, go farther left. So you can see me, you know, like make those call outs like that.
And then I'll be over, and then your other DPS will be over here.
Yeah.
Royal, you see me? Royal, look to your left. Okay, see, and then you can I can peel back for healing, and you're in prime position. And if they do have a widow, you just hold these bushes, and you get the same effect.
Yep. And then in this comp, as Baptiste, like you want to be like focusing your like, just basically be calling out like I can't see you main tank. Go this way, main tank. So I can get a good angle. If you have window, you can like dictate where we're setting up as mid. Like where your Ryan's going, like let's take an angle here. Like, all right, let's take an aggressive angle right here. So this way, I know, like, okay, let's wait a second. DPS take left and right. As soon as you're set up, you take there. I sit with you for a second. Our DPS get a little aggro. They take LOS. That's when I go take point. For an example, for right side, or even early engagement without ult. If I'm going here, we're setting up the right side mainly, while left side gets a little bit of damage and possibly a pick from the flank, while we strong contest here. So you should be telling not just your main tank, but like anybody overextended here, like push back so I can see you, or like Tor push back so I can see you, Ryan push left so I can see you. Like those call outs as a support, and basically calling out if anyone's flanking you. As soon as you hear somebody engaging you, basically say you hear a tracer blink over here, you are immediately, I hear a tracer behind us.
Or I hear tracer left behind.
Like as soon as you like hear somebody moving near you as a main support, you should be calling that out. And as off support, you're basically calling out their positioning and alt tracking.
One thing I haven't heard talked about a ton is where the Zarya rotates for this map specifically.
Okay, so Zarya, I think, could take a little bit of like soft off angles with Ryan on this map because of the pillars. So like, say your Ryan's playing statue, if you spam your alternative shot like towards here, or help out the DPS that's taking here, I think that's a decent rotation. But at the same time, if you're over here, you can bubble the boop. Like that's a big thing you want to be kind of looking for with this comp. Like as a rush comp, those first initial bubbles aren't necessarily, like, unless it's like obviously spam, then yeah. But those first initial bubbles should be counter bubbles, like not necessarily just for early charge. I'm not gonna be like standing here. I shouldn't expect a bubble right here. You know what I mean? I have my shield. I have this statue. I have plenty of chance to take plenty of cover. And if I'm Reinhardt, me getting my shield gone is good for our healers. That builds ults. A little, like literally the 9 alt charge from bubble is never worth right here. It could be way more valuable on our DPS that's taking an angle, or even if we have a solid support, like say we have McCree here, we have Bat with them, maybe McCree gets a pick. That's when the Zarya starts rotating to our left support, or our left DPS. You start helping out the other flank, you know what I mean? So like whatever, like Zarya's main goal is to help out the side that's kind of needed. Like that's so much damage, and like having whatever side needs it the most be set up faster is better, in my opinion.
Alright.
Yeah, as far as I can see from what you guys are trying to do for statue play, I think it makes a lot of sense for Reinhardt to be the farthest thing to the, I heard people call this the coast, towards the coast here. And then there's not really anything but a McCree or something playing this side, where Zarya sticks more to this. Gets charge on her own bubble here for the personal, and then the allied can be used on you up to there if you push that. Or
if we get aggro here.
Angles over there.
Yeah, or if like your off angle is getting pressured, you can give them a bubble.
Yeah.
Because let's say you pressure this part as Ryan. I wouldn't want Zarya to be hung out over here. I want Zarya to be ready to go, because like let's say you push them, in what world do they go to that building, right? Like they just don't.
So Zarya,
exactly. They're gonna
Zarya responds quickly by already getting a faster rotation to this.
Okay. Yeah, that whole time, I'll keep the mindset of just like when we are setting up this initial statue play, we're gonna be like, I'm gonna be hesitant on that. I'm not gonna look for, if I see an early engagement, and I'm gonna make sure we're ready. That's a big thing I gotta work on too.
You can push up to this pretty safely with the bubble.
Yeah, exactly.
This is like where you stop.
Yeah.
But if they get pushed back, anything over here is not safe for them, and that's what Zarya is there to enforce.
Okay.
Win condition wise, I take it that we're using Grav for like the end fight win condition.
Yeah, Grav is a good in this comp. Like especially around Rhine, you want to be like using your off tank's ult as like an ult battery for the rest of your team. That's like the biggest thing. With our combos need to be more coordinated. Or our ult combos need to be more coordinated. Like as a Rhine, you can combo like a heavy damage ult to assure kills.
So if we use, say if we use window like second fight or third fight, if and then so there's normally about 5 fights in a standard control point. Isn't that like a fair?
Yeah, like 3 to 5, depending on how long they are. Yeah.
Yeah, so about 5
depending on the tier.
fights. So if you play a statue and your BAP gets ult really quickly, and then we use window on fight 2, we'll have it for fight 5 or fight 3 or fight 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's the one thing you have to like
then,
think about ults too. It's like.
And then you save your grav, and then we use grav window for over like contest fights. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the biggest thing for like comboing alts, especially like what you can think about it individually, is you want to typically throw no more than 2 as a combo. 3 is a little excessive depending on which ones you use, and what type of alt is it, and why you're comboing it with the other. So if I have a shatter, that's a huge stun ability. Like that is a huge opportunity for high damage building or high damage doing alt. High Noon, a Barrage, Dragon, Meteor Strike, etc. Not necessarily a Blizzard.
Oh my god.
Like if you combo Shatter Blizzard, you're doing the same thing twice. So it's like really reliant on everybody being on top of that to capitalize. So when we throw Shatter, the grav should never be used in that fight unless it's absolutely game changing.
Like if it's the last
like
point,
they somehow
like,
staggered long enough, they're coming back, then we are on the verge of losing it again. And it's like maybe it's close to OT or we need this point. Like yeah, okay, then we could throw a grav if we're ready for it. If we don't have the damage, because if it's timed well, especially around a shatter, like seeing it really breaks my heart at this point. Like when I see gravs come out after I shatter.
Yeah, because you can earn your shatter right from the next grab.
Yeah, it's like I'm not getting this ult charge.
Because like we should always
until they stand up, I don't get ult charge.
An easy formula is 1 tank, 1 support, 1 DPS ult.
Yeah.
A lot of the times it follows the same thing where support ult stabilizes you or empowers you, one of the two. Or it's just there to respond to what the enemy's doing. The tank ult sets up or follows up depending on whether it's a diva bomb or something. And then the DPS ult, I mean, how different are they, right? They just kill stuff.
Yeah, exactly. They're mostly high damage dealing.
And like,
they just
ults like Shatter and
Sombra.
Shatter
I guess Sombra too. That's an enabling.
Fight-winning ults as well. So, like, you can easily win a fight if you get someone shattered. You can easily win a fight if you kill someone in grab.
Right.
Like, you don't want to use 2
think about them like that. Like when you're thinking about alt usage, it's like, why am I stacking this on top of that alt? Like, did we need this ult to win this fight when we just use that?
What makes it easier to use, or how can I use it?
And even if you see that we use an ult and it's not winning the fight, throwing another ult is always the answer. Like setting up for that ult is probably the next play. So that's when you guys should come on comms. Like, okay, I still have this. Maybe let's soft re-engage, or let's just hard reset and go in with this. You know, like those work way more than just throwing it and saving the point. I guess we can run through the next map quick.
Yeah, now that we've got all the basic stuff out the way, we can go ahead.
Yeah, that's essentially now you guys. That's a big thing that we wanted to cover too, and for comms too. I guess I should cover that too while we're switching. For shot callers, like obviously main tanks are going to take the initial role for rotations, and like who we're targeting, like target prioritization. DPS should be calling out engagements that they're like, hey, I'm flanking this way, I'm going this way, I'm going to set up this way, there's this over here, or there's so-and-so over here, this person's low. Like, you're calling out mispositioned people again, and people that are low. You know, things that your Rhine doesn't see, you know, on your angles. Off tanks, calling out abilities. Eye bubble. They probably have this. You know, that's a big thing that off tanks can mainly pay attention to, is cooldown usage, especially the enemy team. Like, hey, they just used wall. Hey, they just use hack. You know, like they use sleep. Little things like that. And a lot of times, it's almost always targeted at the off tank anyway, or the main tank that the off tank is playing off of. Healers again are main heals. You're mainly focusing who you're pocketing, because let's be honest, like main heals, you're pocketing someone. Otherwise, you're not main heals. So you should be telling where your Ryan's LOS, like telling them where your LOS is, calling out your alts. I mean, that goes for everybody, I guess. But then calling out flanks, that's a big one, is like when you hear them appear, when you hear them taking an angle, if you see them taking an angle, if you see someone like in their backline going off to the far left on Blizzard World for some fucking reason, call that shit out. So we just know. Like in the back of my mind, I'll try to remember, and if you say it a couple times, I'm for sure gonna remember that that person's over there. I should be careful of my support.
For well, would you want like Ryan Hog or would you want like Ryan Zarya?
So
we're running Sig Hog or
yeah,
Hog.
so here we could kind of play around Hog, whoever is in. I forgot to ask. Are you comfortable on Orisa?
I am comfortable on Orisa. I wish they never nerfed her shield.
I feel it. Okay, that opens up a lot too.
I mean,
okay,
this is just
That's the only reason why I offered to say
Sig
Ryan
is a lot
Hog,
more
like, I could
stronger
play Hog if you
and
want.
comfortable. Do you play Hog too?
Yeah, I play Hog as well.
Okay, cool. So we can even do that where I play Orisa and you play Hog. Cool. Okay, but
Okay,
most of the time we're gonna fall back
blue,
on
blue,
Sig
head
Hog.
back to spawn. Everybody on blue, head back to spawn. Because we're gonna go through our rotation here.
Here I'll be Hog. Big thing too with control points in general is I don't know how comfortable you are with this, Chalk, but we need to start TPing out of spawn or speed boosting and switching out of spawn. Especially on this map. This map's big because what we were thinking to run with the Sig Hog is a McCree, possibly a Flyer, and a Mercy Pocket. So if the Sim TPs us and then switches to Flyer, they have that, mobility advantage to still engage with our tanks. The whole idea of the TP is to get our tanks to that left room as fast as possible.
So, okay, everyone into spawn. Faded, come back. Okay, so...
Fair warning, Faded, I do have to leave in 20 minutes.
That's okay. Okay, that's why I'm recording. It's fine.
Okay, very good.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, I'm gonna TP out. Alright, go.
Oh my god.
Faded? Oh,
Faded?
Through? Faded
How?
through?
How?
I don't have it bind. I don't have it bind. I kept walking.
We lost the team fight.
I was like, why can't I TP?
That's it, we lost the map, fellas.
Okay, everyone back, everyone back,
Oh,
everyone
just keep
back,
going. Just
everyone
keep going.
back.
It's fine. Okay, we TP. We don't need to get it just right. It's a mock run.
TP. And then I do this. Royal, turn around and connect to me. And then everyone else follow your tanks.
Yeah, so the whole point is to get us here as fast as possible. We take dominance of this room, and then this is what we do with our angle. We put shield here on point, Orisa touches, and then as soon as shield breaks, our Hog is either already taking an off angle here, or looking for a hook, whoever's going to engage on the point. We basically send... This is why Echo is really good here, because McCree can hang back here, and then Echo is just, it's just like right side pincering them. If we do run like double hit scan, we could set up McCree kind of, look where your Hog is, we can kind of set McCree up here, like kind of hang back, or even far back here and take the angle, while maybe a Genji or a soldier, someone that has like any kind of vertical ability to kind of get up to this top left here and take the angle there on their back line.
Yeah, that's where like a Zinger and Bap would be really good in the place of Lucio.
Yeah, we were running back.
Yeah, I would not actually run Lucio here. I'm just.
Yeah, we would run back mostly is what our prompt says.
Yeah, yeah. So that way we establish tanks here. We push for this angle, push dominance. A lot of time they push up here. So having our DPS here every time is very important. Like at least our McCree and 2 tanks here.
Over,
yeah, it's like 2.5 tanks.
Our flyer would take control over the windmill, and then everyone else would take control over that side. And then it's kind of like a game of cat.
And a lot of time, if like with the TP, if they peek this door and they see us established there, they're just gonna rotate this way to main. So at that point, we're playing on the pincer attack again. That's where our U-shape comes in. Our Pharah, or his scan, is putting a lot of pressure behind them. Oh, and then McCree, like as soon as like you see like Pharah is like pressuring in, like that's when Pharah's like that's where calling out low target is important. Whether you see that low target or not should dictate almost how you play. Like if as a McCree and you hear like, hey, their Zen's really low in the back, far right, their tanks are either gonna keep looking this way and not care about their support to where he's gonna die to that Pharah, or they're gonna turn and peel, and then bam, you got an off angle, they're back. You know, so like little things like that, like you just have to, we have to like kind of. That's where I kept saying like I feel like we're not listening, because like there's call outs being made. They're good call outs, but like we're not responding at the right time. Like we need to get in this habit of like listening to each other's call outs and dictating how we play around it. Does anybody have any questions?
I like this grouped up strat because no matter what, everyone has to call out because
yeah, exactly. There's like when people say we need a main shot caller, it's like, sorry to interrupt, but like when people say there's like a main shot caller, like yeah, that's your main tank, or like positioning wise, but it's like, and target prioritization, like yeah, but when you guys are silent, it negatively affects that main shot caller, because then his shot calls get diluted to just what he sees, and it's just the wrong calls over and over again. It's like, what are we calling out? It's like, I'm calling out what I'm looking at, you know? I can't, I have to have my team telling me what's going on around me.
I like that.
Can I?
Alright, I was say I have a question.
What's your question?
Alright, so say they're running a double bubble or a Hog Zarya or some comp like that. What are you guys gonna do to counter it?
So a double bubble, that's when we go into counter dive. Anytime they go dive, we counter dive. Even with the Rhine or the Hog Zarya, or not Hog Zarya, Hog Sig or Hog Orisa. That's where we just kind of slow down with our flyer. They can take farther angle, like back here, not necessarily hold up on the lighthouse so much. When we see that they have a Winston Zarya, immediately poke out right there. As soon as that Winston jump, we are focusing his bubble as a team, and then we focus down the Winston right after. Like, don't let him get out. We focus the Zarya's bubble regardless. If they are engaging hard, like the big thing that we need to understand against those comps is that you counter dive, and by counter diving you need to be in a safe position to engage on their dive, not let them dive into you and expect your team to just like protect you, you know? Like, we need to understand our positioning when we do that. So like as a McCree, we're right here on the left here, we see a Winston peek out, maybe he puts shield down like an idiot over there, or maybe he puts it early for his team because from our spam. Like, you just know, like, alright, I'm gonna start backing up towards our supports. I'm gonna make sure whenever he dives, I'm here to stun him. You know? Like, that should be just a immediately reaction. Like, whatever, like, especially McCree. McCree is such a, like, a niche character. That's why he's gonna be hard stamped meta, is because, like, he's so strong against everybody in this game. Like, he can take down, like, he can contest tanks. He can take almost any 1v1s, like, basically any 1v1. So, like, having your McCree not be as flashy and letting that flyer try to get those plays on those off angles, and even if they get the pick on the flyer and the Mercy's still alive and she comes back to us, that's still a really winnable fight. Like, we can get the counter dive because now we have resources going into McCree. So now we get that damage boost on McCree, and anybody that goes in for that dive immediately after we can get that trade fast. And then we can start turning the fight really easily. It's like almost every time you get a pick on a flyer, as a Winston, I'll tell you this now, that's when I want to engage. Because like they're either repositioning or their Mercy's going for that res. And 90% of the time she's going for that res. So if the Winston goes in at that time, it's a good dive because their resources are low and they're usually either repositioning because of the pick or just not paying attention. So if we know that early, like McCree is so important in these comps, honestly. Like the positioning of McCree being able to counter dive is huge.
Alexa, set a timer for an hour.
Other than that though, what was the other one? You said double bubble and what?
Hog Zarya.
So like a Hog Zarya, if they do it to us, we basically are just
because of our positioning,
playing around hooks and playing around alts and picks. Like we just go positioning wise. Like we dominate this position.
Is like because of the position we're in, it's hard for the hog to get pulled in the first place.
Exactly, yeah. And like the only way I'm gonna do it is like when I take this angle, or if like shield breaks the wrong time or some shit. In those situations, like if one of our tanks die, we want to naturally just reset. Start planning our alts at that point, disengage, and then we go in with alts or any alt advantage we have. So that's where like when we mirror comp, a lot of the times it comes down to map dominance and alt usage, like 99% of the time. Like mechanic skills is great, it will get you far, but this will win you games 99% of the times if you just dominate space and use your ults better. So once we get our rotation wise, like for Hog Zarya, or I keep saying Hog Zarya, for Hog Orisa, the Supercharger is basically an alt battery for the rest. Like the whole Hog is a win condition. It's a spacer. It can get a lot of kills here. High Noon you use as like kind of a zoner, like the same thing, like a spacer. Like you zone out or you get kills with. The high damage from the duplicate or the barrage is a game winner. Like it's your win condition basically. You play around your alts when you mirror count. That's so important. And then that, like, once we establish that, we'll kill anybody in mirror count.
Could we, after going over all the maps, start practicing this in, like, quick play?
Sure.
Just so
we can run a few.
Feel for how it works.
Yeah.
Just 'cause
Yeah, let's say you
really
guys
like
open against a double shield here, like where ball is.
Got
They
you.
got
So
packs in.
at that point, our tanks play slower and our DPS play a little bit more aggro. If they're playing soft angle, like where they're using their shields to kind of just take damage, like which you see a lot in this tier, they'll push their their shield out here, and they're still standing here. That's a really good time to where Orisa use spam shield, so they think that that presence is still here, like my shield's breaking, and then Hog and McCree take this angle while the Pharah take the other angle. And like,
I feel like if they're
make
right
them.
there, can we not just rotate left into them?
Well, we could do that too, and like for double shield, even with an Orisa, if we have a Hog and a McCree just kind of like walk up into them, like say they even like see our Orisa a little bit alone, they start pushing point, right? If we have the McCree and the Hog, like Orisa needs to be like on the point, like hey, they're pushing point. Orisa takes back corner of this room. She backs up to fucking Narnia, and then the Hog and McCree go in on this time. And then that way she gets the halt here, she can spam here and help them out. And then same with the Pharah and the Mercy. And at the whole time, like your main support is just following your Orisa. Like you're backing up even farther than her. Like you're making sure you don't die from this spam that they're gonna throw out with double shield. There's two ways to play around supercharge or double shield. You either rush through it or you make them throw it on angles that are uncomfortable, like when it's like when you say you have the point and they re-engage with double shield and they're just chilling in this back corner, like not even taking the point because our Orisa is touching. That's when we can like take the same rotation, but we do it a little slow. We don't rush into them. We're just like, I'm just constantly spamming them. They throw a shield over here. All right, I'm gonna constantly spam this shield, make that shield completely useless. As soon as they throw this shield up in this direction, It's a misplacement. Because then we know to just rotate back to our Risa. And then that way we still alive. They have to either be aggressive on this side and then that we're already ready to rotate back. Or we just focus their one shield that's still in good positioning, and then we can get the kill here, like through Farah, Spam, McCree, whatever. We get the shot off,
And our flyer is always on their off angle, so they're gonna have to decide.
That's really important. Like when we're holding point and we don't have Lucio, and they're still playing double shield. Like you just have to make their shield useless. Like make them put them in angles that they're not gonna get value out of, or you play through them.
For ults economy wise, with the supercharger, do you want me to wait until like 3 ults are out or until 4 ults are out so that way we start getting
so that depending on the ults, so say we get a big combo off, like with 3 ults, we use a tank ult, we use a DPS and a support ult. Using the bongo next fight's fine. If we don't use the others. So like that's something we establish like in between fights. It's like, okay, I'm gonna bongo early here, so we build these 3 ults here. Let's kite the ults we have to the bongo's done, and we need them, and we're still losing this fight even after bongo. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So like having bongo and another ult go off isn't the end of the world, but it's almost never idea. Unless you're like boosting your high noon to get to actually fucking win the game. Like say like last point Gibraltar, you can like fucking throw down visor or your supercharger for a noon and just make them all back up and cap. Like those situations are a little different, but you want to be just building what you can and kite the rest of the ults you already have around supercharger.
Yeah, honestly, like a good way, at least I think, you can either use it to make them respond with an ultimate, especially if we have High Noon and Barrage.
Yeah,
in that case,
that's really true. I didn't think of that.
For a whole fight, and so like we're sitting on ult charge by not spending it.
Here.
Like you don't want to waste it by like only thinking of it as an ult battery. But like let's say they have a sound barrier and we just drop a bongo and run at them. They're gonna have to do something about that. Like it's not an idle threat. Like it's a gigantic 50% damage boost to the whole team. So it can be like a bongo plus another soft ult. Like 2 soft ults can just win a fight if they don't ult back. But a lot of times I like to use it to make them use something. Otherwise, if half your team's ults are like below 60, that's a fine time too. Like it's good to just. Honestly, I think Orisa is a character where people don't do nearly as much damage on the hero as they should. The character's cracked. It does way too much damage. And 45 lets you play like a freaking chap.
I'm still surprised they never lowered her ammo count.
Like it's insane. You can get bongos so quickly, and sometimes I'll use it for myself in comp. If you can hit your shots, it gets kills. It's like a halt plus a bongo on a target that's not near a shield can be pulled out of cover and killed.
Especially
so,
a Tracer.
You can use it for a lot of things.
You can kill Tracers just as is, but like with your bongo too, like you catch one that's still in the back and you throw bongo down, and it's like regardless if it's a good time or not, you just say I'm bongoing here, no more ults. You get that Tracer kill. That's a win condition right there.
And if they have a hog, do not ever peek this middle room because you will get hooked. See this doorway that you just set up in MP? Once your shield breaks, the hog can instantly get a hook. Bam, we're down a teammate. So we want to really set up on this either this far left
the farther
side,
angle, because it's a lot. I can play a lot farther back, make them push over here, because like the hook to the hole is good, but the only time I'm gonna really go for it here is when they overextend to the left here. Like a lot of people will rotate on this left room and just like establish ground here, and say their tanks are set up here before we can like kill anybody. That's when I can be aggressive and like get the hook off, because like their hog is either going to be behind their shield or in the open, and that's just when it comes down to mechanic skill.
Alright.
Like who's going to get their hook.
As far as a bongo goes too, if like let's say you guys are playing defense and somebody pushes up like a maniac, like Farah tries to spawn trap, Kree goes for a flank flash fan, hog steps into their hog and gets hooked. A bongo actually just lets you win a 5v6 on defense. As long as it can keep your team, it is a winnable fight, because people will walk forward like maniacs. They're like, oh my god, we're up, and they're running on the point, and
it's like, it's fine, they bongo, just go, we're up, and it's like, then they just get melted, and it's like,
that's
why are we losing?
I'm like super okay to see when people are down. But you have to be stable, but down, if that makes sense. You're not
Yeah,
currently
like
dead or
say
dying
someone
for
off
the
on
rest
the
of roster.
angle, like over aggressive. Like say our Echo is over here and dies.
Yeah.
We can't
if
get the
everybody's
res.
still set up,
Yeah.
absolutely take that fight on defense with the bongo. It is
Yeah.
so
Hi,
good.
baby. Hi, baby. What are you doing?
Wait, what?
Sorry, my dog just walked in front of me.
All right. Do you want to run through the next one? Or
Yeah, I can run this to the next
Okay.
Elios.
Yeah. At this point, now that we got the rest established, we can like just go through comps and then.
Okay, yes.
Answer
Yeah, we
questions.
said that last time too.
I know, but we got into comms too. So.
It's modes, it's control.
Do you know how to kill yourself in every door? You gotta
I
jump.
was doing it, and you kept punching me out of it.
You were just sprinting against the door. That's not how you do it. Look. I'm behind you. I'm at your spawn. Okay.
The lobby, I
With
can't.
the double shield, if we're running Zen, that's just gonna be easy once we break the shield.
Yeah, that's true.
But
If they do
Zen
run into a
is
double
glass
shield.
cannon, and it's
Yeah, but that's where the
instant.
McCree positioning comes in clutch so much. It's like with
Yeah.
the McCree behind our hog, Orisa just
Chuck,
spamming
I have
their
a
shield.
question.
It just sucks for them. Like they're not taking that angle unless they're wanting to die.
So we got horseshoe comp, we got the box.
Alright, so
and then
here
it's
is a really good example of our horseshoe comp. I think Rush is kind of default here, unless they've proven that they've had things for us to switch, like a strong flyer. Where in the case we can run double bubble or just full dive here. But 99% of the time I really want us to run Rush here. The big thing is we should run with Sim, like almost every time. Get the first point here. We play it like it's a night market. We don't leave point with a Sim. Like we play here, we can play here when we're a little aggro. We got maybe 2 picks. Then yeah, we can start walking into them for sure. But until then, we're
Okay,
here.
So this is where the horseshoe
walking around
really
right here.
comes into play. So come here, Chocloon.
Yep.
So
And this is a
instead
map
of-
where it will really shine.
So here, our hits. So we're running sim hit scan, so they can't run afar on this map. So here, we'll have our hit scan up on this high ground. So Chocloon, you see where I'm standing here? Our spawn high ground. Look at our spawn high ground. Okay. This is where our hit scan will be playing. And our hit scan can always, you know, jump off and go like. So I
He's
would
got
say
his roll, so you should be able to at least get a roll to in the room.
and then regroup with our BAP, and our BAP can heal him from that point too. And then our Sam, of course, is going to be playing on point with everyone, and charging with the Rhine. And she would be technically your right flank here, or your left flank, depending on which spawn you have. But she would be your other flank, but she's not going to be really all that much flanking. But if you have high ground control, we should be able to,
Okay, so also another thing too we should get in real quick, with Sim, with the horseshoe, we want to force them to rotate to our turrets. So we don't want to set up turrets in here and like say they're like just poking at us over here, like they're just taking their sweet ass time and they don't go in. That doesn't mean for us to give up ground. Even with a pick, like we wait for them to get in this fucking point and then we start our fight. Like until then, we are on survival mode.
I mean, because as long as we're inside the
literally
point and we're taking percentage, we're getting value.
Yeah, we're
out of our comp.
we're literally just chilling. It could be like where they pick off 3 of us, and we're just still chilling because they refuse to get on the point.
Yeah, a big thing I want to point out is if you find yourself in the spot where you'll say there's a Pharah flying over the waters that's untouchable because she's 1.5 miles away.
Exactly.
Spamming inside, and then there's like people shooting from Rosaria's right now. You have a sim. So if you need to make a play happen, you can get off point and get back on with the touch of an interact button. You can make plays off of that.
Yeah.
But that only works if you have the TP like available and people aren't running into their death. Like that's your way out if they're spamming into you. Because like if they use all these angles, there's too many angles to defend. So if they got something on a high ground, a Pharah out there, a Zen in the back.
And that I think we should establish that as soon as they take the like say we pushed in from where I am, as soon as they start pushing to our side, like they pass this pillar, then we can start setting it up for it. Say they have 2-3 people pass this pillar, then yeah, we're going in on them, like with the turn. And say their far is like still back here, way over to the right, just spamming. Like even if she goes contest by herself, if we go as like go engage, this is one thing we need to understand too. Like if we do this and go engage, we need to commit. We need to go for this fight. Like if we lose the point because someone's backcapping, fuck it, we're going for these kills. Like we need to win this fight and then we rotate back to point. Because if we win this fight, the point doesn't matter. The whole point is the map dominance. Us doing this keeps our map dominance, whether it's the point or not. So they try to take our backspace, we take it back. And then if they took the point, we go take it back. Does that make sense? Like with a TP like that, it's honestly perfect. Cause like then you can like, I will literally be like, say they got the far spamming this door like crazy. Everybody's backed up. We talked about this. Like one thing with Sim, like a lot of like literally our healers are in this corner, and I'm in the mid. So everybody's over on this back left side, and then they start pushing over on the left, or our left.
So
we throw a TP right here.
Yeah. And basically, the way I explained it to Faded is normally on points like this, you would try to take kind of like a side angle, but because you are at such a risk of a boop, you want to be right here and be like, oh, your Ryan kind of wants to be in this doorway and be like, hi, my name is Reinhardt, and then go, oh, I'm feeding, and then slowly back into his team and kind of kite the enemy team through this doorway, and our Sim turrets are gonna be up. Yeah, you just want to be a big red juicy steak for the wolves.
Literally, I'm the bait. I'm putting them in our microwave.
Look at that snack over there.
All right. Does anybody have any questions on that? Like for like TP horseshoe strats, like we're gonna be like implementing that on a couple maps.
Are we gonna put TP just like towards Mega for like on this side where we just spawned for the first? Are we gonna put it?
Okay,
so for rotating,
I know on the other side you can put
we're
it
never
to
going
roof,
far
so
right.
it goes...
We're never going far right.
No,
I'll just say that I don't care which
I'm...
way we think is the fastest to point, even from like I said.
No,
yeah,
here.
I get your question.
Wait.
I think.
I'm saying the opposite spawn. If we spawn that side, we could obviously do the easy TP to the roof shit. Not the point roof, but the spawn roof shit. On this side where I am as Zarya.
Yeah,
the other side over there, where were we putting CP?
No,
the main thing is the main way. Like literally down main.
No, we should always go down main because it's faster no matter what you do.
Yeah, right here.
So you go down main and your Sim will TP you straight into the port.
Because like even if like TP's up right here, they have to commit to break it. Like, as long as it's behind this wall, like the Pharah can spam it and then it's whatever, but like they have to commit to break it.
The Sim player wants to break it.
Yeah, at that point too, like once we get in, like we want it to hold to get those plays off.
Yeah, the sooner you break the TP, the sooner you have it back, ready to do the next thing with it, once you've already gone to where you're trying to go.
Right. The only thing I was thinking is like, if we have like slow rotations, like someone's straggling, and we're waiting for them to hit the TP, if the Pharah would spam it, like that's the only way they would break it. And that would take probably longer than our straggler would to take it. So.
Okay, and then again, our Sim player will hold their TP as a engage tool if we can't get them to push onto us.
Yeah, if they're just sitting there spamming and waiting for a picks to engage, and we are stable, then yeah, we can use the TP for cheeky engagements for sure. Other than that, it's mainly for like, you can even like, especially a big thing too that we don't do. If we run this comp and they're just like hard rushing into it, like say they run like they don't do the spam, but they're constantly rushing in and dying. Save the TP, like not necessarily for a quick get back, but like if against their graph or against their slow ults. Like if you get
TP out of graph?
Yeah, you can literally TP your whole team out of graph.
That's fantastic! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think like I don't think you can actually anymore because of well no, not that, but like you could do it out of Blizzard. At least I've seen someone literally place it down so fast and got out of a blizzard.
Yep. It's timing, yeah.
It just depends if you.
That
have
one I think is a lot harder though.
If you have the TP already for a fast spawn, it's gonna be hard unless you have the TP up, knowing they're gonna grab.
Yeah, that's why you break it intentionally. Once you TP to where you're trying to go, you don't really leave it running unless it's like, let's say, from point to something that they can't spam easily. So like, let's say it's from I don't know, this odd angle to your spawn side over there or something.
Gotcha.
Like, you could leave that, and it's kind of gimmicky, but, like, you could do that if needed, where it's something like that. If they don't have that many boops, you can get people out of the fight, and then back into the fight.
Right.
Okay. Are we good to go to Eichwald?
Oh, what do you open with? What's your full comp on that? You got the Kreese him, you got the Ryan. Are you starting Zarya, Bap, Lucio?
Here, yeah. For here, I think Zarya is a little better if we run Sim, for sure. Because anytime we run Sim, I favor Zarya for burst damage over D.Va. When we run Rush without Sim, I like D.Va because it's just a lot more play around it. That's me personally, but
yeah, the Zarya Lucio, I mean Zarya Bap, I just don't love a ton because a lot of times you'll see Bubble and Immort used on the same thing.
Yeah. Yep.
That's
one thing where their cooldowns definitely contradict each other.
You're only happy to see the Zarya if they open with a Mei or something.
Yeah. The D.Va could be good here too.
Or the double bubble, I suppose. But I mean, D.Va's playable in that too. It just if they.
I always think of like that initial first engagement. I always favor because that can turn a lot of fights in this tier. Is like when they spam one direction and then we get good bubbles off of it and then they push that direction. That Zarya is a lot more stable even than the D.Va because she's putting out so much damage to their engagement over the like where D.Va like kind of gets favored where she counters cooldowns more. But in this tier, I don't know.
Yeah, sure. I don't think D.Va does as much damage in this tier.
With Zarya, she really just hard carries in this tier.
Yeah. No,
that's why I've always favored Zarya.
Character. Yeah. No, definitely. Because I think I do more damage on D.Va than Zarya.
Yeah, oh man, yeah. Because at high tier, yeah, Zarya is all about the plays. Like, are you setting your teammates up with bubbles or not? If you're not, it's a throw. So, yeah,
like here can block more, D.Va can do more.
Yeah.
So Zarya is just consistent.
You faded for our sim like turrets. We should put it in like the top middle because they're most likely gonna try to run like a Winston to try to counteract the turrets. They'll be too busy fighting us to stop the turrets.
No, you just separate. No, you separate.
Yeah, one up there is good.
You put one on that blue beam, and then you put one in this corner, and you put one in that corner.
I'm pretty happy with the corners. Corners are pretty solid.
Because even if he gets one and the one's on the other corner, he has to. Like he's taking too long. Yeah, he's taking too long to engage it, and at that point he should be like technically he should be dead. Because especially against a Ryan, like I'm just gonna pin him.
I think we're good for you.
All right, yeah, we can. Let's go to Icon 1.
Okay, I was just waiting for your call.
My favorite map.
Ooh, better Lucio roulette. I've just been practicing my Lucio roulette casually during all this.
Okay, so.
Got my notes down. We got horseshoe comp, we got box comp, we got max sim comp, bunker rush.
We are on Eichenwald, right? 1 second, I can't find my notes. Oh, Eichenwald is pretty simple. So
Stagger
we're
defense
gonna
first.
Let's do defense first since we're on defense.
Alright, so defense first point, rush, but we've put Zarya in. Zarya, I think, favors this first point a lot more than D.Va does. Mainly because of the strats mainly used on first point, unless there's like really just flyers that could counter without the D.Va, but we're gonna run hit scan every time, so it shouldn't really affect us too much.
So we have Zarya rush, and then on second point we change D.Va.
Right, and like if they run a dominant flyer that rolls us, like we're gonna switch D.Va anyway. So like the Zarya pick is kind of niche for our strat. So the whole idea with someone's Zarya, that's why I couldn't pick Zarya. You get it. Don't worry. The whole idea, hold on, I'm getting there, as the Ryan Zarya on defense here, is to set up our horseshoe again. Say for, what do we use for DPS again? For defense?
DPS is McCree.
Right, so McCree. So May is playing my left side, and McCree is on the right. So May takes like this angle. The big thing for May is you're taking this angle for spam to build ult, and if you're close to ult, you're playing here for wall and like setting up your Ryan for success. And at the same time, you're listening for flankers. Like that's the big thing too.
Actually, I think she should be playing this side of the stairs because she doesn't, because there's very few sight lines from like May. Come here, come stand where
But you can stand on top of the stairs too.
No, what I'm saying, if you stand by stairs though, they can't. If the hog comes through that door, they can't hook you. If you look. Well,
the whole with the Ryan positioning and with May, like if anybody goes through either of these doors, that's who we're walling. Even if it's a hog.
But May has sightlines. Have sightlines with all three chokes.
I know, but with that angle, your wall is going to be crooked, and that person can get through the doorway again. If they're on this wall, they're not going anywhere. Like the wall is going to be completely flush on this door, or completely extended to where they have to walk like all the way out here to get around it. And that's fine too. If we like wall from this corner over, and it doesn't, and like say they can walk around here, that's fine. Like they have to walk this weird angle to get around it. And at that whole time, you have Ryan and Zarya in front of them. So like that's the big thing with this first defense, is this wall. So like that's why I think May's positioning is important on these stairs. Like you have to go for these walls. Here early for spam, yeah, sure. Mid fight, if we win the first fight already, yeah, sure. Get your ult back. If you have ult, you're just waiting for a wall. You know, throw them off. Be like, where's their May? He's probably walling. Then they have to play around it. You know what I mean? And then. So yeah, so we play against first wall. If we don't win that fight, we soft regroup. McCree is like constantly over here, so like McCree can be like kind of back here spamming as they're whichever way they go. They're gonna see McCree, and more than likely they'll probably try rushing them. Like, hey, McCree's far left alone. Let's go for him. And at that point, he can just like roll towards our team. So like you literally just, you don't really like go past this tank. Like you can kind of go up here a little bit if they're like hard engaging on the right or their right. Then yeah, you get more of an angle to look at them. But you're not going up here. You're not gonna go up here for fucking to get all. I'm gonna get their supports real quick. No, we're not doing that. We are literally waiting for them to play into our wall, and then we pounce on them as 6, not 5 and a flanker. We're not doing that anymore.
Help me.
So yeah, so big thing here, defense. We rotate back to point after holding after our first wall, and then after that, if we lose this point after ult advantage, regardless if we have grav or not, we should probably just go D.Va to help with high ground. Same thing. I think we all know how to play here. Like dominate high ground. Any chance we get. Everybody, I mean, Ryan and healers stay point if we need, but everybody else should be constantly fighting people off. Like, as defense, your whole, like, idea should be, like, is anybody on this high ground? Get them the fuck off the high ground. And then they're gonna push back to their team, who is probably repositioning in castle or point, and then we just set up our horseshoe accordingly. Like, where's our Ryan? Alright, so they're in castle. I'm gonna take this far angle on the right where the road is, you know, way over there.
So basically your Ryan and your May will set up here because they only get advantage through the low ground fight. And you'll probably have like a Lucio here to speed boost y'all, and then you guys will have the main healer up top. Your left flanker will be all in like this main area of castle, and your right flanker will be on this high ground. So there's your horseshoe. It's kind of wonky, it's kind of backwards, but
I mean, it's a weird angle to do it, so yeah, we don't need to take this like far side over here. So we're just like
no. So look, if you're looking at this door, your right flank would be literally directly above you, or your left flank would be directly above you on the castle, on the main floor of castle, and then your right flank would be this high ground
back
right here.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
It would be a backwards horseshoe, but it would be a horseshoe.
So, and then third point, I think we're all pretty clear on. We just hard rush with Mei. It's such an enclosed space. We know what to do there. We don't. It's. And like I said before, our stall is pretty solid. We know what to do when we need to go stall characters, so there's no need to keep going over that. We just keep working on like that on normal and scrims and stuff. We're doing like that's I think is some of our strong parts because we force ourselves into such situations so much. So like we've learned to play against that too much, so we're pretty good against it. Damn. So let's go over attack. I think we had 2 strats, right?
Are you guys comfortable on the ball, Zarya?
No.
If we play Huevos.
Okay, because I feel like it is
Huevos is like our most comfortable ball player, I'm pretty sure.
In the Ryan May. At least in my experience. On defense, actually, because for your comp, if they open with anything other than brawl and or the first wall doesn't hit, you're in a really, really weird spot to be stuck in a fight.
Okay.
It's very easy to lose a backline character with how close you're holding. Like if we go back to the front line position of the stairs here. There's definitely a way to play it out without changing the characters. I just didn't know if you guys were comfortable.
Well, because we have a Lucio. Yeah. So our Lucio would be holding here with our Mei and our tank, but our bat can even hold back here and be spamming from safety. So the only person that's really in danger of getting lost is Lucio.
Oh yeah, there's no defense for the right side of the map, and the left side, far side over here, is the longest rotation from here to point. So if they do the gimmicky Mei Sim teleport, if they have a Pharah flyover building, if they have a ball wrap around and touch point, the character that wants to answer that is most likely positioned here, in this general area, where you have to go all the way around, and then you get caught losing that one good choke.
So do we want to hold here and have our Mei do her stuff from this angle then?
I don't hate. I've seen Mei's be on the right side, if they have a bubble available for them on the right side of the, as far as the defender's position to the bridge. That's a decent spot, and it gives you access to the mini as well as the easy angle to bubble. The Zarya here is caught in a spot where if they have certain characters, you may not get to play the game. I guess you can. It's really hard to play Brawl right side and not have something else that you're scaring people with, I think, with this comp. Because I think if you even played the same heroes and just put Ball instead of Ryan, at least you can force the fight beyond the bridge, get him bubbled out, and like nearly guarantee that he lives, and that Zarya has charge by the time they make it through the bridge.
So on
you
defense,
really have to force
like
early charge on defense. Yeah, if you don't get early charge,
Ryan, and then I gotta work on tech.
You can drop the Mei if you don't want the Mei. It can be.
What would be an ideal rollout for?
You can keep it super simple. I'm gonna swap to Ball just to give a super simple example.
Alright. Stop freezing him.
Just swing around the bridge.
Bro, we'll help you.
Stop freezing him. Freeze this guy.
This one, I mean, people will know it's coming and still fall for it. So it's really, really simple. You just do the third-person peek. Like I'm up here, I see the entirety of the choke. Nothing of me is peeking. Yeah, you just go in for the pile drive, get bubbled, linger for a second, let bubble pop, and then roll out.
Okay.
And you can go back to defense, and then your next rollout's done super easily from clock tower.
So we could do the same thing with Mei too, though. Like, should we wall off as our ball rolls through?
Zarya, right?
You could. Yeah, you could. You would want it to be on the second rollout when Zarya has high charge. Because if Zarya doesn't have charge, I think this Brawl comp is very weak, because you have low damage Mei, low damage second tank. Reinhardt's hard capped by his range, so if the wall misses, he's doing nothing. Lucio, like, you've got one character that's going to be doing damage, it's just McCree.
Right.
McCree!
Baptiste has a gun, but he may not be shooting it. He may be healing. So it's really, it's very, very easy for that comp to not even break a shield if it doesn't pan out for the first fight. I would say it's easier to not run the Mei and run the Junk. I'm quite comfortable on Junkrat, so that might be like my personal experience. But I feel I don't think the hero is hard to use as long as you shoot what's gonna hit. Some people get a little ambitious and they start going crazy angles.
So we set up Junk in a similar position where the left off angle.
Yeah, exactly. So Junk can literally be anywhere around this car. Baptiste can be in the same spot. You don't need a Lucio anymore. It could be a anything
Mercy.
really.
Like a Mercy,
It could be a Mercy,
or
it could be a Zen.
Zen, yeah.
Because the
I was gonna say a
Baptiste is
Zen.
needed.
Zen with our ball and Kree could do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I've had teams run this with Brig Zen heals, and that's not the easiest to learn. It doesn't have to be. I do think a Brig is very valuable when you're running something like a Ball Zarya.
Okay, then we run.
And I've been a big fan of Mercy Brig. Even Lucio Brig doesn't feel awful at times.
Yeah,
so
I
if
like
you want to
Brig
get ambitious with that, I think BAP's okay. Yeah, it's just BAP doesn't have a lot to do, and so if you're not playing BAP aggressively, just think of BAP. BAP needs to be the Zen in Brig Zen now. If we're playing the BAP, he needs to be providing some of that kind of pressure.
Yeah,
because you either choose to go to the Mercy for the damage boost, or towards the BAP to have a safer shooter.
Okay.
But that's if you guys aren't comfortable on the hero, it's definitely not something you need to force. I just think it's very easy to run. I think it's much easier than the Ball Sig ever was because it's nearly guaranteed charge. Like the first rollout,
Ball is gonna get
when
charged.
he slams, they're going to shoot him. If he gets walled and he somehow doesn't get out, like GG. Like I don't know how you don't get out. And they have to open with the perfect comp, which means you saw their heroes and then still slammed it. So like by that point you killed yourself, because it really shouldn't be a surprise of who you're jumping onto for this first rollout anyway, since it's like they can't even see you.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
You can get it could be Kree
I like that.
Echo. And what I like about the ball too is if you need to go dive second point, again, I don't like Brawl defense, run Zarya defense on second point either. So it's a bit of how this map plays out, where all this high ground is here. I think this comp has been good for this map for a hot second.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense on the second
And if they
point
have too many flyers, you swap the Zarya to a Diva, or the Zarya to a Hog, depending on what you need to kill. If you need to kill something that a Diva can kill, great. If you need to kill something that Hog can hook, great.
Gotcha.
You have so many options with that. I would just say don't swap the Orisa here. It seems like the right call sometimes, but it's if they're running double bubble, it's really bad actually.
You said Orisa?
Yeah, I wouldn't play Orisa or Sigma here a lot of the times because those heroes are more trouble than they're worth.
Okay, don't swap her in. Okay, I thought you meant.
What's our heal comp for this? For attack and defense?
So a defense we could, if we do, we'll do the Ball Zarya, and then we can do like Zen Bap or Brig Bap. I think I like the Zen better because like it gives the guaranteed damage boost to everybody. More than BAP has to rely on like popping off.
I like the Zen too.
I like the Zen.
I'm a big fan of the Mercy Zen or the Mercy Brig for this, but if you guys don't want the res, there's not really a character that needs the pocket anyway. It's just a stabilizing pick.
I think in general, in tier 2, it's safer to play more heals than less heals.
Mercy is more heals.
Because people panic. Well, I guess it depends on how well you play BAP.
Well, yeah, because I'm thinking who's going to need a lot of healing, not Ball, not Zarya. Like, in combat, Ball should be living most of the time.
That's where it differs, too, though. Like, in Tier 2, Zarya needs a lot of healing.
Zarya needs a bat,
especially with Ball, because, like, a lot of
healing.
people will see, like, alright, Zarya is over here, let's just rush her. And then you have bubbles.
Yeah, I think Lucio Brig can be really good in this too. So I think if you want to experiment with something funky, I think that's the experiment because Zarya moves.
We can always
moves faster with the
experiment.
Lucio, moves faster with the Brig. So now both of those characters that are low mobility are faster now.
Did Chalk say he was leaving?
No, but it's fine.
HTC.
Alright, well, let's run through attack then.
That was loud in my ears.
So I think Rush is real good here. Or like TP.
Right?
Oh shit. Oh, never mind. That's fine.
Oh, I thought you said. Oh, I didn't realize.
No, it's fine. We didn't go over attack, but it's fine.
It's practically the same thing as what your initial defense explanation.
Oh, we did.
Yeah. First wall.
We were gonna use a. We
have a TP idea. Cause like, well, we established horseshoe though. Where we TP from the right. Oh, it's freaking power went out. That sucks. We TP from the right to the left side, and then. Oh shit! I actually kind of want to do this. Win it, but.
We did that strat on the screen with that shadow plan. I remember that. That shit worked out well.
Yeah. The thing is, though, is I want us to understand where our DPS are going, though. Cause.
Let me grab. I can hold one more time.
Sorry. I wanted. This is like literally the only thing I really wanted to explain on our attack because we get stuck on this first point a lot. Our second point attack is decent. Like we understand. Like once we understand that we take the fucking high ground, and we're pretty good about that. We usually, at least, if it takes longer than it needs to, we almost always get second point. I can't really recall us getting defended or stopped on second point. But yeah, no, for attack, I want to establish a few things though.
Are you doing the wraparound?
Yep.
So yeah, we come out of spawn, we wrap around here, Silva, and then we wanted to come into this room here, and then we were going to come right here and TP from here.
Oh yeah,
TP straight there. But the big thing I want us to establish is what we do after. So once we go through TP, we have McCree Sim, right? McCree literally just drops and just free walks this way and just takes this angle. You are dominating this angle. McCree, like you have a mini here to roll to, but you're over here. You're pressuring here as much as you can. If you could take high ground up here, even better. You get that off angle on there. Ryan here, I'm gonna be just like kind of chilling. We're here to let our McCree get established left side as our Sim throws up a few turret. Like anywhere we need to, on point, maybe on this wall, because most teams are going to respond with their TPing. Let's either go to point to where we help our McCree, and that's where we kind of slow down. Like I'm right here, I'm going to throw some damage. We got Zarya to spam, or we got Diva to spam. We got McCree on the off angle. We have sim turns going up, and then during that time, like when they rotate back to point, our sim is taking this right angle and starting to rotate on the pincer attack. And then once we get established on here, maybe we get a turn up. Then we TP maybe to their back line. We go help out the McCree if he's getting hard pushed. We just focus this pincer attack. Ryan rushes the point, and then we take the point. A big thing too is if they rotate into us, like if they're standing over here, and then they just hard rotate where we TP to, then we as a group that TP'd, we just keep going. We follow McCree. We just keep running. We're shielding. I'm gonna be the last one. Like I'm gonna be the first one they're hitting with my shield. Our sim is just keep going. We're just rotating, and we're focusing. And McCree is gonna be hopefully the farthest one. So if we're doing this, McCree's going all the way over here. He's gonna start taking this angle on him on their back. So like we keep our U shape, and we just like force it onto this point. And then as any way they do it, like if they're rotating behind us, even better. We fucking just took the whole advantage. We're on the point, they're fighting us from choke. Like it's easy. Like the whole thing with them rushing into us, that's when we go survival mode and we just start rushing to the position. Like our tanks are the only ones really spamming, like maybe Zarya behind shield. Our DPS and healers, that like our sim and our healers, are literally looking this way walking. There's no need to shoot them as they're rotating into us. You are running away from them essentially and getting to a better position where we can establish a fight into them. Because if they catch us in this spot and we are waiting too long for like maybe McCree to set up, or maybe we're just, I don't know, like maybe they're like lingering around on the right side to us, and we're waiting for them to push back the point to dictate what to do, and then they just hard rush us or some shit. Like we have to be ready. Like healers, we're standing right here in the open. Like you walk to this left side of the tank and you're looking where they're going. If you see them walking the point, you're backing up. You're maybe playing a little bit to the right. You're playing safe. You're playing around this tank. Playing LOS to them. You're playing LOS to your Ryan though. You're telling me, hey, Ryan, push point. Don't go past point. Get back. You know, I'm feeding. Get back point. I can't see you, and then I back up. You know, like I can't see you behind tank. Go to the right. Ryan, go to the left. You know, things like that is what you're calling out. If anybody's rotating right side to Sim should be ready here to fight anybody first. But if it's their team, then the Ryan takes over and walks us back. All right. So if like maybe they have a dumb tracer after they rotate the point, or some DPS walk this way, that's when our sim is like pressuring them down out of this angle, and they're calling out like, hey, so and so is right side, our off tank is spamming this way too, and then one of our healers is helping them out, and then our main tank can still focus on the point, and our Kree can focus on getting in position. Alright? And after that, once we dominate this first point, we just go right to ball Zarya. The whole idea is to get this point as fast as possible. And set up our second point with plenty of time. We can literally
you guys do this TP. Try to see what way they're gonna press you from, because they should be moving pretty quickly.
That's exactly what I was saying. Like as Ryan, I'm calling out where they're going.
Main heal with the Kree if they rotate.
Back to the point.
If they try to chase you.
Oh,
like,
okay.
If they try to match your
that's
TP
what I was saying.
And
Yeah.
they meet you here. Then you rotate
both
the whole
supports.
backside
I feel.
around.
Yeah. Like should. Yeah. All just we like even me. Like I'm shielding us back as we keep rotating.
Yeah.
Yep.
Something I just want to say real quick. Not for like this map, we probably wouldn't even have to worry about it. For shit like every time, like say like for example, Lijiang, when we're running against an enemy team with the sim, we need to get into a habit. Once we have our 3 or 4 picks, we need to send someone to break their TP. Because I notice sometimes we don't do that enough.
Yeah, that's true. We can send like off tank or high mobile character to do it.
Yeah. And if you have the luxury of holding the TP hostage for a bit, the later it's broken, the longer it's on cooldown. So if you kill them,
yeah, she can break it during death now, but yeah, most people don't know that still.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah, they changed it with
May
wall,
but it's really
Torp
May
turn,
wall
and TP.
Yeah, those cooldowns, if it's useless, like you want it gone fast. So
this is a high cooldown too. It's like 10 seconds. So.
Yeah, I think TP is like 13ish.
Is it 13? Yeah.
No, it's
10.
It's like 11.
Okay, 11. Let's go to Hanamura. I wanna get Hanamura out of the way, and then honestly we'll probably just cover the rest because it's been 2 hours. And I'm going nuts.
Okay.
It's been 4 hours for us.
I know.
Appreciate it. Let's clap it up. Let's clap it up.
Just shows I want us to get better. Alright, so we can probably just do this map and then we'll call it. We'll do the rest later. So we can do defense first. Defense, we do double shield with a poke and a hit scan, or a spam with a hit scan. So we can do Orisa, Sigma, and the rotations are everything on this comp. So the left side, when we're looking at point or the choke, the junk, we can have junk with what was it, junk Kree or junk
Junk
Ash?
Kree, junk Ash, junk
yeah,
soldier.
junk Kree or junk Ash, junk soldier. The junk is literally like chilling in this doorway, just spamming at choke, pressuring anybody that walks too far forward, pressuring anybody that wants to rotate this way. So like we got a trap ready here early for like engagement if they try to get there, and then we rotate back. Orisa stays here. I'm like basically playing rock. I'm spamming point or I'm spamming choke, and if I see a turret, I'm already going back to point. Unless they take the long way and walk to point, I can spam my layer a little bit up, but I'm mainly like my main job as Orisa is throwing shield here and touching point as long as I can. Even if I get off and give him a tick or two, it's fine, because Sigma is going to be where he is right now and just spamming, and he literally does not drop.
Sigma.
Yeah.
So, Mr. MP47, you go up on that right high ground, and you hold that right high ground with your hit scan and your mercy.
Yeah, so literally, yeah, hit scan, mercy, and Sig chill up here, and literally you were focusing them as they push in. But this is what I want you to keep in mind, like any of us. We don't just drop into them. This is death. We take this long rotation around, because once we call out, or once we don't even really need to call it out, we're gonna fucking see it, because if they TP right to point and they're all there, and maybe they wall you off, hopefully if I'm not frozen to death, and with the junk spam, we should be able to survive like most of the fights here. Like, I'm gonna rotate back to here and wait till you get onto those stairs, and then we pincer attack them. Like, our hit scan, if it's possible, takes the high ground in this window, or is with you on that side, and it's 3-on-3 on or 3-3 each side as they're going in, and we fuck them up as they're on the point. The whole idea too here is we ult early. So if we get a flux, we want to still use our combos, but if we get a flux, we want to use it almost on cooldown, because it's such a game changer on this point, because it's such a point, like small points in a like little house here. You're gonna catch a lot of people in it, because they're either gonna rotate out of like one way, and you can, even if they get off the point, it's fine if you don't catch them in it. You hit it like kind of close to Bell, and if they're either gonna rotate to me or rotate top left to you. So either way, it's a clutch ult.
So we're basically running a mini pincer here. It's kind of like
we're basically inviting them to the point to come die.
Faded. So like, say they TP in. Do you want me to stay up here no matter what? Because I can shoot through the window here.
Yep.
I can shoot through this.
Yep.
Exactly.
And when you need to contest, you rotate. You rotate back here to these stairs.
Yeah, you rotate behind you and you rotate through.
So where Arisa is.
Don't ever drop off the high ground.
You take behind you now. Yeah, you take behind you and you just rotate this way.
So if
with our hit scan, you take this angle.
You'd be listening for basically me, Snow, or Royal, and if we say rotate, you go, oh yeah, I'm gonna rotate and I'm gonna take this. And your soldier or whoever's sitting here can also stay right here and do the damage here as you rotate. So we have like a three-way pincer going. So it'd be right, left, and front. So
I feel like my only problem with that, I feel like I could do, like, unless they rush me on the high ground up here, if I rotate, I might get stuck alone with my hit scan. Say if my hit scan goes out and I'm by myself.
You have Mercy. Mercy's up there too. It's 3-3.
Oh,
yeah.
alright.
You're gonna have a healer with you every time. Like that side. Right. You're gonna be basically protecting that healer too on that side. So if the hit scan goes down, then that healers, if they can't get the res, they're hard pocketing you.
So you may have someone you're gonna have someone calling for
That's why it's okay to take that rotation. Like, I'm gonna be with two other people here. If they're like crazy pressuring me, maybe they even like wall me off, I'm not gonna try rotating to the back so I can get booped. I'm gonna wait it out so you can get this angle and then we engage. Like, we can give up a tick. It's okay. Like, the whole point of this is to waste time and build ults as fast as we can, because when they engage like this, all of us are doing a lot of damage and we're gonna just build ults really fast that way. And, like, they're gonna as well, but like, that's where our ults come in. Like, our ult rotation comes into play.
Another quick question, just because window's up. How much does Sigma's balls do with the fucking window damage?
I think it's like, what does he do normally?
It's double. It's double. It's double.
I don't know how much his base damage is though.
It should be. I'm gonna shoot Zen twice. You can confirm. It should be around 120 for double shot.
Yeah, 110.
So 55. I think it was something 5. I think it's 55. So yeah.
So direct hit is ridiculous.
110 heavy shot.
And your BAP
220.
And your BAP is gonna be with your Arisa and your Junkrat over on this side. So if you're in that doorway, he will be able to heal you. So he'll be able to. He'll also be able to heal you if you're on high ground.
Yeah, that's the whole beauty of like BAP here too. It's like BAP can hit that far angle up top if you guys need it. Like, they rotate. If they say they TP to you guys, then our BAP can like help you guys out too with just the angle alone. Throwing a lamp up there could be clutch if like absolutely needed. But like at that time, like as Sigma, if you see a TP come up, it's like, that's probably the few times it is okay to drop and just rotate to these stairs as fast as possible, because you can get caught out in that room if they TP to you.
TP onto you.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the only time you really should be dropping from this direction.
If they TP onto me, we could break TP and I can counter flux and we could just stop their whole push.
Exactly.
Well, that depends if it's their first push or not. It's all We're not
you know how
even
to get to the
factoring.
spot that I'm at? This is a really good opener spot to scout if they're running a TP or not. It's really worth learning.
You just rock your feet to it.
There's no downside to doing it.
Same thing like Zarya, jump like alternate.
Yep.
You just shoot,
Alright.
you don't rock.
Let's
So
do.
you shoot the corner.
Oh,
I'll
you
put
can
a spray
shoot.
on it.
Wait, here.
Here,
So
why
you
don't
just
you all just
peek
jump?
that.
Wow, yeah,
jump.
that's right, guys.
Oh, you just regular
I'll
shoot
try
jump?
it.
That's it.
Oh.
Oh, Zen, you didn't bounce hard enough, man.
Yeah, I gotta
Ooh.
use the orbs. They're the ricochet of the orbs.
I was like
Yeah, the
right at
timing
the
is
corner.
like second orb leaves
Oh,
hand
right.
and then you jump.
What the fuck?
Ah, that's crazy.
It looks hard, but it's honestly, once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad.
You're going a little early.
And you don't want to hit the stairs, you just really want to hit the center of that spray I put. I went early there.
Oh, you got really close there.
Listening to Discover Weekly and Coconut Mall just turns
Hey.
off everyone doing this.
And so from there, you can scout the
did it.
TP, right? And if they TP right here, you can literally return to this high ground. If they TP to that high ground, you can leave, right? You're not even on this high ground anymore.
Right.
So you have a lot of options, because what Sigma does best is splash damage. And so if they're TPing onto point, you don't want him touching, you want the Mercy up in this catwalk.
I give Dova an honorable mention for teaching me how to jump today.
As we got into that, Coconut Mall just started
Oh yeah,
playing
we
for my
should
Discover Weekly. It's like, oh my God.
we should count our scrim tonight and tell her how it went.
I did not think this was gonna hit somebody. That was so funny. Yeah, that little spot where I just died at, that's where you want to be touching and stalling point if they TP. You don't want to be on the floor. They won't even realize that you're stalling. They're gonna think Arissa's touching. They're gonna be looking around.
Wait, up
They have
here?
no clue.
Wait,
Yeah,
up
Alright, let's
here?
go
so your
over,
cheeks off the
yeah.
edge.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
stall on
and you're
windows.
stalling.
Let's go over second point.
That's so cool. Okay, let's go over second point. I don't want to be here all night.
Just jump off map or we can get there quick.
No, we
Oh,
walked
you right.
Fine.
I
Fuck the
walked.
cardio.
Alright, so for attacking, or no,
You're
we're
on
defending.
attack
Defending.
while I'm- First, I do on attack.
We're defending here. So the whole thing with double shield there and that whole comp is committing our ults to first point because we're almost gonna switch off this on second point. This is not really a strong comp for second point. So if we so in the case of us like losing early or losing early enough to where we have ults in this fight, what we do is we send our Sig high ground, like always Sig and probably McCree. Like our Sig and our hit scan go top left. I'm bottom right where Sig is as Orisa, and then we discussed a few things. So if we have a DPS that uses their ult or is low enough to throw it away, we go Sim. And the reason we go Sim is because we can get this TP with our Sigma to the across high ground, and this sets up a rotation really nice. So the whole point of sending our Sig top left with this, and I'm down below ready to bongo as soon as they put any kind of pressure, is Sig is either gonna stay here and spam until they pressure him, in which he goes on this rotation, jumps down here, and remains on the high ground as much as possible, where they are either going to rotate and chase him and then he can just keep running even this way and then run to me back here, or just drop down to point and make them come to point by like all means necessary. But the whole idea is to get them onto the point, and then I bongo or we throw whatever ults we have at them, because that's the whole only reason we're on this comp anymore, is because we have ults to use. So the whole idea though is with Sim is it opens up the rotation a lot easier. So if we throw TP on the far right side, he can just TP back and forth. And if they break the TP, he stays on that right side. And that way they can't rotate to him. Only a few characters are gonna be able to. Not 6 are gonna chase him out of position.
Alexa.
So that way we keep the high ground advantage for a Sigma, because we just have a Symmetra switch, and then we just TP them to the top right. That's the main goal. As soon as you go Sim, you book it to here, and you throw TP up to across. And then we have them set up on that top right. And we play around alts, and then, what was our defense that we go to? It was just,
It was the
Rush, right? No, Mystic. Mystic.
Unmute your mic, mister.
I think their controller died.
Alexa, fix their controller.
Yeah, if you need to
Hey,
make
Google.
quick swaps and keep some heroes, I do like the Rein, Orisa, Bap, Lucio. Aiden, your junk is really good here for this hallway.
Yeah. What up, Flame?
Yeah, come to Scrim. We're on map 4 right now.
All good, home. I'm making a video of this, so if you want to like watch over anything.
Yeah, we're recording our scrimmage today.
Alright, so yeah, for defense though, like what we would switch if we already dump ults on first point, I think D.Va Rein was what we committed to, because that way the D.Va can still help with high ground against anybody. Rein does the same rotation as Sigma's original one, where we hold high ground until we have to drop. We can hold back here, shield our other DPS that are with him on the high ground. They rotate with them, and then we shoot across from them. But this defense has always kind of thrown me off. Like, as tank-wise, I've never felt comfortable on anything I run here.
I always rotate with Ryan to the top right. Like, I like that you already said like this over here, because you can always just move around. You don't have to expend a healer, because on your way to rotate back to point, you just pick up the Mega real quick. You scout to see if they're gonna switch to the Sim at all. If not, then you're just good and you're back here. After the fight,
Mystic, you here?
just rotate back up to top right.
Mystic, unmute your mic.
You never want like a sniper or a flyer to come through this fucking window here.
Yeah, that's
That's
the one
usually how
advantage
all
of doing the
fights
Rein Orisa or Rein Sigma is that you have the double shield, which leaves one tank with the possibility of staying here, while the other drops here for a fast fight while they're mid-rotation.
Right.
Yeah, if it's Rein Orisa, Orisa would stay and Rein would drop. If it's Rein Sig, then Sig could drop. Because he's trying to do the splash damage on the bodies, get them to turn, then Rein comes in.
Let them up.
Just rotate around to the left.
From here, yeah, he can
Yeah,
go
that
faster.
Mega.
It depends on what they're pushing.
It's
Like,
safe-
just Lucio
it's safe
forcing a
as well.
boop should be able to get peeled by something shooting at it. But if, like, let's say they're, like, hard pressuring him and he's got to go, if the fight's going to continue and he needs to be in it, he drops. If the fight's not going to continue and they're passively, like, trying to pick apart your positioning, then wrap around. But if you need to be in the fight, then stay in the fight. Yep.
Yeah, if you hear ticking, go to point.
Wait, can we show him the attack real quick since he wasn't?
Our defense. He's ran our defense plenty of
I mean,
times. It's our normal 3-3 on each side. Yeah. But our attack, I want to show us our attack. It's this one we haven't done, and I don't think most of our DPS know about it. So. Wait, I should go Sim.
Using the aid of my controller's directing and slowly getting. God damn it! I fucking slowly turning my head toward it.
Yo, is it true that the PS5 controllers are having drift issues?
Having what issues?
Like drift issues, like also
It's gonna
too
be
with like
that.
joystick.
This long and I haven't come up with a solution.
It's been too long. What do you mean? That should never happen on PS2. When do you remember your controller drifting on PS2?
The joystick. I like those joysticks better than the.
They were actually solid plastic. they just make it cheap. Alright, so for attack, we do a TP rush. And we do it a little different. So one thing I really hope we need to work on too, or not I really hope, but one thing we do need to work on is hugging walls on rotations, especially with a Lucio. So this is exactly how I want us to rush out. So we avoid the splash damage from anybody that's just spamming from up there. Then we just hard hug this left wall. We go into this room, and as Ryan, I peek this choke. Sim, and I'm gonna make sure our DPS know this. You put TP like this. You put it through there to the high ground. Just like that. And then this way, we far left... God, I can't talk. Hard rotate on the left, and our DPS jump onto the high ground here and just spam. We can even have a BAP up here healing everybody, and then our tanks just fucking push. So we do it with like Lucio BAP, McCree Reaper or McCree Junk, and Ryan, either Ryan Zarya or Ryan Diva is fine. But we hard commit there. Like that first push is a really high tempo and just really hard engaged. Because if any time that we slow down and show them what they're doing, that gives them time to counter set up to it. And it's countered a little bit by them rotating back and poking at us like this. But at that point, having the hit scan and the BAP high ground where Zen is can counter that pretty well. So like that's pretty important for our BAP and our hit scan to catch that ledge as they go. Everybody else should just be falling to point.
Do you want Ryan Zarya for the rush for this, or what's the second time?
Ryan Zarya or Ryan Diva is fine.
Alright.
Both work. Especially if we know what they play. Like say if they have a good Ana the first round or something, we can run a Diva.
Fast, they might do a counter sim, and we could do Ryan Winston possibly if that's what we do. We could do that too, because like if they decide to do like a turn at all, we could pounce on that, bubble it. A big thing too is if this first initial push doesn't work, we could have a soldier. Whatever our second DPS is, we go soldier. We do the same thing, but he's back at choke waiting, and as soon as we're like top left, he just hard rushes right here. We have to make kind of a slow engagement, and he just takes this off angle from this high ground up here, and he's just spamming up here, and he has all this room, and he can run over here and just spam from here too, and that will work from like a pincer attack, and that works if like their hard bunker counters our rush. We just send our soldier off on like a suicide flank to just give that added. We add that additional off-angle pressure, whether if they focus him or not. That should help us with the front line. It will draw resources to their back, which is what we'll need. After that, there's a second TP we do for second point. We're gonna roll them like we do every time. We never lost, so we just roll them there. We go here, and I kind of like doing this, so especially if they have a hit scan, which is really popular here, we just TP up here and clear it out as rush. A lot of times Ashe and a Mercy will chill up here, or they'll just coach gun to there. That way we have people on this high ground to really contest. Like say we go the Kree still. The Kree can contest an Ashe that's standing over there very easily. That's perfectly in his range. Even if they coach gun and like somehow like they drop and they coach gun to that off angle, this cross angle like this is pretty decently in his range to where like he can maybe get a few shots, but like in the time of her getting over there and he sees that the coach gun lands and she gets up there, he can just drop and just force the angle like this, like force into them, and then we just rush into them this way. Oh, this double bounces on it. Oh, I really like that. I'm so listening.
So for attack here, I think we need to be just really high tempo TP pushes. If say we win with a decent stagger, we don't even need to go through the left. The big thing I want us to do is rotate or like TP to where Sig is. So we throw TP up here. And the big thing with this TP, guys, if we ever do this strat, tanks don't take this TP. There's no point for a tank to go up here to drop immediately. You're just broadcasting where you are, and you're falling straight downwards so they can shoot you. So tanks literally rush past this TP, and that sets up a BAP or a McCree perfectly. So he's down. They're both down shooting at us. BAP can basically heal the whole point. Besides us like feeding into their spawns, then he has to jump down, which is whatever. But that's mainly like we need to set this up for our damage dealers. Like we have a Zen over there, we fucking send him up there and he just fucking melts people. And same thing if they are set up hard right side. And say like they're just waiting for us to come to point. If we don't have wall to just wall them off, we could TP right to them and force them like into that stairs. Just make them like the whole thing with the TP tempo is like we force them into uncomfortable spots. We don't like TP. We don't like sit there and like figure out. Okay, they're right. All right, what should we do? Should we TP to them? No, we're gonna TP like as soon as we. All right, they're right. Okay, TP's down. We go to them and we just force the fight into them. Like we literally fight in their team. You're gonna be losing people. There's gonna be people behind you, and that's fine. Because the whole point of this idea is to catch people off guard. As soon as you like let them see what you're doing, this comp just goes to shit. So that's a big thing with our sim players. They need to be aware of where we want to put our TPs, the options of them, and be ready to just like apply that as soon as we can. And as soon as we do this, tanks just go in and we rush in and we just fuck them up and we just get TP, we get turrets up and we melt them that way. Because if we let them rotate here and then we TP up ground or TP on high ground, they can just spam us. Anybody got any questions?
How's your day going?
Yeah, that's good. Pretty good.
Only question. I feel a million times more comfortable now that I'm seeing these strats because this is actually very, very nice.
Yeah.
Also, that ramen room to fucking top left dojo, I did not know you could hit that fucking TP
A lot of people
spot.
don't.
That is wild. That is wild.
Mm-hmm. I love that strat. It rolls in comp, especially in our tier. So yeah, I think that should be mainly it then. If no one else has any other questions, or Dove, you got any like inputs on this?
What are you running with the sim as other DPS?
Usually Kree. If not Kree, we could do like spam, so like a Junk or Hanzo.
I was gonna say if you're
or
looking to create chaos, I'm a big fan of the Junk Torb.
Yeah, I was just saying like if we say like we do that TP right, I was just talking about a Junk just explodes.
Yeah, they explode on high ground. If you do the standard one where you go across, you leave a turret behind under. Anything that contests gets shot by crazy off angles.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of a TP in and a turret in the back, and
yeah,
turrets on
yeah. If they, a lot of people will run Torb here and put it up here. We just fucking run into them.
You put I put every time 3 sim turrets up here, and no one ever touches them. Right where I'm shooting, because they always are too busy trying to get the contest, and then they get
an attacking Torb is really good against Ash. If they go pocket Ash, like you can't die to her. Like you can match her range. You can overload.
I can't tell you in this tier how many Widows and Ash I've just outsniped his Torb. I have a good sized montage of it. Just me just sniping his Torb. It's so fun.
Projectiles are great.
Yeah, they really are.
Snow.
Alright, so I think we'll call it there. Tomorrow, we'll go over briefly for the other 2 maps for this week before Scrim. If you guys can show up at like 7:30, like we normally do, that'd be good, and we'll just run through it then. And then, like, Nepal is it will be really short because it's very similar to strats we already just covered, so. But like the main things again I wanted to cover was like shot calling, call outs in general, our comps, rotations, and understanding our rush as a horseshoe, not just necessarily a ball and running to death anymore. It hurts. I don't want to see it no more. Yeah, so again,
I would say
like
with more split rush comps, experiment with the Ana in place of the BAP when you're playing less.
Yeah, oh yeah.
BAP Zarya, it's so
good.
Bad.
Yeah, Ana. Yeah.
BAP Zarya, it's like you're losing the value of the AoE kills.
Oh yeah.
The Zarya doesn't benefit with the Baptiste. So
yeah.
When you're playing really split and open like that, it's a good strategy for Brawl. I just don't think Baptiste plays as well as the Ana does.
Hello.
On really like playing out of their mind and cracking people.
We can play. We can play Ana. Ana's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, because you need to make up for the lack of area effect. So you have to make up for that by playing more aggressively in windows where people don't have cover anyways, like pressure people back, which is what BAP does great in the split. But if that's like not feasible, then you can go for the turret more valuable.
Alright.
Okay, that works too. So, we good then?
Yep, I'd say that's good. I'm gonna go ahead and end the video.